The National Broadcasting Company presents the National Football League. Today from Riverfront Stadium, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks, including the all-new Mazda NPV. By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Murata Fax Machines, built for the most important business in the world, yours.
On the 10th week of the NFL regular season, that's the way the AFC Central Division race looks. The Cincinnati Bengals still lead with a 7-2 record, but Cleveland and Houston have closed the gap. It's now just a one-game lead, and the Pittsburgh Steelers right now way out of the hunt, but they can be a factor at 2-7. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Donovan, along with Joe Namath on a cold, gray day here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Now, how can a team that's 2-7 be a factor in this Central Division race? Well, the Steelers are on the road against all of the contenders in the AFC Central Division, so they begin here today, and the role is spoiler.
Well, one thing the two coaching staffs agree on, and that's that Pittsburgh's better than their 2-7 record. They just have to show it. For me, I think Bubby Brister is going to have a big day today, and I'm talking about running the football, not just passing. I don't think his offensive line is going to give him consistent time to establish a steady attack, and he wants to keep his defense off the field, because between the defense and the special teams, they're giving their opponents 26 points a game. That's too many points.
So that's a tall order to fill for the Pittsburgh defense today, shutting down the Bengal offense. Not too many people have been able to do it. The Bengal offense, as a matter of fact, is the highest scoring offense in the entire NFL.
And it all starts with the big, powerful offensive line. They've been opening holes for James Brooks this season to where he's averaging almost 6 yards a carry on 89 tries. And the man that pulls the trigger, Boomer Esiason, he's one of the best in the league. You don't fool him with defensive looks. He has complete command of this offense, and he's leading this Cincinnati team to the playoffs.
Weather conditions at Riverfront Stadium, the temperature, and yes, we've had some light snow. And this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Lee Johnson, who started the year in Cleveland and now has joined Cincinnati, kicks it away to the Steelers' White Stone and Rod Woodson. Stone 5 yards deep in the end zone. Puts the knee down and a touchback, and it's 1st and 10 for the Steelers out at their own 20-yard line. And here comes Bubby Brister back in the lineup. Got the start last week. Brister with Hodge and a rookie Warren Williams out of the University of Miami. Thompson, Lips, and Mike Hennon starts at tight end. Preston Gothard has a sore hip. The offensive line has been banged up all year, especially along the left side. They look to protect Brister here today. A sellout crowd at Riverfront Stadium, and Pittsburgh will have to battle that. 1st and 10 from the 20. That's Hennon in motion. Brister, and it's caught by Lewis Lips, and he spins out of a tackle out over the 30 to the 34-yard line, and a 1st down. Lewis Lips with the catch, number 83. Now let's check the Cincinnati defense, which gets picked on 1st down right away. McClendon, Crumry is the leader, the All-Pro, and Scow leads the team in sacks. Here are the linebackers. Joe Kelly's having a great year, and the secondary is highlighted by David Fulcher, who picked off a Bernie Kosar pass last week and gave the Bengals their only touchdown of the game. 1st and 10, again for Pittsburgh after the 1st down pass. That's Merrill Hodge, and that's a short gain as he's tackled immediately by the defensive end, Jim Scow.
Scow's not very big for a defensive end. He only goes about 255, but the man knows how to play off blockers. The defensive line coach, Bill Urbanek, says he has good leverage technique. He gets up underneath those bigger blockers, and so his size really isn't a deterrent.
2nd down and 7. They give Hodge 3 on 1st down. Perfect day for football, at least in the AFC Central Division. Joe, when that snow was falling, I turned to you and wished you a Merry Christmas. It's that kind of feeling here in Cincinnati, and it's been a merry year for them, too. A lot different than last year when they were losing. Here's Brister rolling out. Fires, and it's caught by Merrill Hodge. There's a flag down out by the 45-yard line of Cincinnati after Hodge made the catch. Now we'll check the call from Red Cashion, your referee.
The receiver went out of bounds, came back in and caught it. The pass is incomplete.
Well, that's tough on a receiver. Sometimes he gets close to that sideline. A defensive back will bump you out of bounds. I like Bubby's enthusiasm, and this is what the Steelers like, too. He brings a lot of excitement to this offense. He's just a flashy guy. He wants to get things done, and he excites the entire Steeler team.
Now, on both passes, he's rolled away from the pocket.
Yes, they're going to have to keep away from that defensive rush. They didn't get the best protection against the Jets last week, and the Bengals have a better defense than the Jets.
From their own 36-yard line, Pittsburgh looking at 3rd down and 7. One back in the backfield. That's Merrill Hodge. Williams comes in motion. Flags going down. Whistles blowing. And here comes another flag down, too.
Delay by the offense. Still 3rd down.
Now you have to wonder if the crowd might have been a factor in that delay penalty as Brister was trying to bark out his signals, and you could hear that crowd, and a sellout crowd it is here at Cincinnati, right in his ear holes.
I don't think it was the crowd this time, Jim. I think the way they start this new 45-second clock, he just didn't get enough time to work with after they told us what the penalty was.
Big difference now, 3rd down and 12. Up at the 31. He stays in the pocket this time and connects with Weegee Thompson. Thompson is ruled down out over the 40-yard line, out to the 44, and close to a 1st down.
Oh, and I don't know why they don't go to Weegee Thompson more often. I mean, he's only caught 11 passes this season, but number 87, folks, is averaging 26 yards a catch. He's 6'6", a big target, and he usually gets single coverage. Here you can see him just getting the man coverage that's being done by Eric Thomas, and I'd look for him to go to Weegee a lot more often, but I think they're short of the 1st down just by a little bit.
Harry Newsome will punt. Watch this. This has been an adventure all season now for Pittsburgh. He has had 5 punts blocked, an NFL record. He had one blocked against the Jets, but he gets this one away. That was last week. Eddie Brown was deep. And the ball goes out of bounds, and it's a good punt by Newsome out near the 11-yard line. So Harry Newsome gets the job done right there, banging it out and pinning the Bengals back deep in their own territory.
Field position plays a key role in any game, and with this powerful Bengal offense, you definitely want to keep these boys backed up, make them drive a long way for a score.
That's the backs and receivers led by Boomer Esiason. The offensive line huge and very good, and keep an eye out on 63 Joe Walter, having an all-pro year for the Bengals along that offensive line. Sam White ready to pull all the right levers today. They had a tough week offensively last week in Cleveland. Esiason puts the tight end Riggs in motion, and the handoff to Stanley Wilson off the left side, out short of the 15-yard line. Gerald Williams, the nose tackle for the Steelers, brings Wilson down, and it will be 2nd down. The Steeler defense, let's meet them. They go with Williams. Jerry Reese was supposed to start on the left side on the defensive end. They'll go with Lorenzo Freeman there instead, and Keith Gary. The linebackers, Hardy Nickerson, having a fine season, back in the lineup after being out in the middle of the year with an injury, and the rookie Aaron Jones. And we'll get back to the secondary. 2nd down and long. Esiason throwing, Brown open. He could go. Touchdown, Bengals. 86 yards.
A beautifully designed play, a great play-action fake by Boomer Esiason in the middle. It freezes the defense. The safeties come up, and hey, it's just a foot race for Eddie Brown. He has the whole center of the field and left side to work, man-to-man with Dwayne Woodruff, and Woodruff just can't keep up with the speedy Brown.
That is the longest touchdown pass against the Steelers this year. Jim Breach for the extra point out of the hold of Kurt Schoner. Cincinnati strikes very quickly here at Riverfront. Boomer Esiason, who had not thrown a touchdown pass in the last 2 games, ends that streak in a hurry. All toweled on the top of the head, And here's the touchdown play.
Well, he gets Woodruff turned to the outside, and there's no help at all in the middle of the field. They just let Dwayne Woodruff out there alone with this speedy receiver, and it was a well-designed play by the Bengals. They caught the Steelers, sucked them up, and they burned them deep, man.
It is what they call a run-action fake, right, Joe? Because they really pulled Pittsburgh in with that run-action fake into the line by Esiason.
Well, a lot of people look at this Bengal team and they figure that they're a passing team exclusively. Hey, they've run the football. I think they're third in the entire league behind Houston and Chicago for rushing attempts. The first part of this offense of the Bengals is to establish a ground game, and that's why Pittsburgh sucked up so much on the play-action fake.
Lee Johnson to kick off again. Second time he's done it today, the opening kickoff, and now after the touchdown. Rod Woodson, he's very good returning kicks from his 5. Out over the 30, out to the 31-yard line, and that's where the Steelers will begin. It is Sunday number 10 in the NFL. Let's check in on the early returns. Rams and Philadelphia scoreless. The Bears going without Mike Ditka today. Vince Tobin stepping in, running the Bears show on the sidelines today. We wish Mike Ditka the best. Miami, New England. The battle of 2 4 and 5 AFC Eastern Division teams. The Giants. These are very early returns. No score anywhere. But not here. 7-0. Bengals lead on an 86-yard touchdown pass from Esiason to Eddie Brown. The tight end hit it in motion. Merrill Hodge on the sweep. Got a hole over the 35 out to the 38-yard line. Good-looking sweep on the Steelers.
Well, that's what they have to do, get the ball outside. I believe that's one of the reasons they're starting Williams as a running back, too. But it's just good blocking, getting outside. Number 62, Tunch Ilkin. Oh, boy, is he a tackle that doesn't get enough credit. You know what I mean? He's been playing. He should be in the Pro Bowl, but being on a loser, he doesn't get the recognition.
Second down, 1. Solomon Wilcox made the tackle. We'll call it second down and a little bit more than 1. 2nd and 2. Merrill Hodge, he'll get the first down over the right side. So the Steelers come back and pounded away with the run on their first possession. They were throwing, but this time they're running as they'll try and put a little ball control attack into the lineup today. Hodge getting the start today. 1 touchdown on the season. Tackle made by Tim Crumryan. You'll hear that name a lot. The nose tackle in on the stop for the Bengals. Ball out at the 43-yard line. Hodge and Williams make up the Steeler backfield. Brister has lips at the bottom of the screen. Weegee Thompson to the top. They throw the pass out for Thompson. Thompson had gone down to the turf. Eric Thomas was on the coverage. Brister also went down. Here's Thomas with the shield across his face, but he went down right over the top of Weegee Thompson.
But look at the job that Mike Webster is doing on Cumry along with Blankenship, number 60. Cumry is the premier defensive nose tackle in the league, folks. And I tell you, Mike Webster, the 15-year veteran, has his hands full today.
Second down and 10. Snow coming down. And Bubby Brister warming him up. Tight end hit it again in motion. Blitz from the outside. That's Fulcher, and he makes the tackle. He was coming all the way.
So David Fulcher goes 6'3", 228 pounds, and he's the biggest strong safety you're going to see. They bring him an awful lot, just like they bring a linebacker. In fact, Cincinnati tries to confuse the offense by bringing Fulcher and dropping a linebacker back into coverage.
I'll tell you, he looks like a linebacker when he's coming. Just ask Bernie Kosar. He was coming last week in his face. Knocked down the pass, gathered it in for the interception, and scored the touchdown. 3rd down and 12. Big rush on Brister. Going long. Lockett comes back and almost intercepted. There's a flag down, though. Ricky Dixon was on the coverage for the Bengals, and a flag down. And Brister down again.
Well, they don't keep many statistics on how many times the quarterback gets knocked down. The pass protection's pretty good here, but he's going deep, so he has to hold the ball a little longer, and right up the middle.
Interference, number 29 on the defense. First down.
Now, Ricky Dixon Listen, 29 was in excellent shape, but the ball was slightly underthrown, and so he got a bad break that time. I tell you, he had perfect coverage, but Charles Lockett tried to get to it, and he wouldn't let Lockett get back to the ball.
Maybe one of those situations where he wasn't looking back towards the ball.
He didn't look quickly enough back for the ball. That's exactly what happened.
So it's 1st and 10. Steelers get a big break on the interference penalty. And Brister making sure that his running backs, Hodge and Williams, know the play and the count. 1st and 10. 9:51 left, first quarter. 7-0 Bengals. Here comes Williams on that sweep as they run right again. And they go inside the 25-yard line to the 24. Crumry, 69, over on the stop. Williams, the rookie out of Miami, running back to the huddle. Take a look at the offensive line and the comparison of the size. Cincinnati with the huge line outweighing the line of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, well, Pittsburgh uses so much pulling by their guards and tackles and the trapping. They like to have the smaller, quicker type athletes.
And we break it down some more. Your average heights and weights. 5 yards on the game by Williams. They go right back running again. And Merrill Hodge, for the first time today, they run left and go inside the 20-yard line. Crumry over on the tackle along with Jim Scow.
We're going to be calling Crumry's name quite often today. He leads this team in tackles. And folks, for a nose tackle, this is the only man in the NFL that's been able to accomplish this. Now, he's not only leading the Bengals this season, but he's led the Bengals the last 3 seasons in tackles. I mean, that's phenomenal. And Joe Green tells me, the defensive line coach of the Steelers, that Crumry's wrestling experience helps him shed the blocker.
Steelers very good inside the 20-yard line. They're on 3rd down and 2. Lewis Lips coming down the line in motion. Ernest Jackson just checking into the lineup. 43 bangs in and gets the first down up near the 15-yard line. So Jackson, starting the season in that backfield, had some problems holding on to the football, turning it over, then has been taken out of the starting backfield, but comes in on 3rd down and short and cashes in.
Hey, I tell you have to give credit to Mike Webster, Terry Long, and Blankenship, the middle of that offensive Steeler line. They just blew Crumry back off the ball and the Cincinnati interior. They won the battle on the line of scrimmage that time.
So at the 16-yard line of Cincinnati, the Steelers get a 1st and 10. Weegee Thompson and Lewis Lips on the same side of the field as we look right into the eyes of Bubby Brister. Pump fake, and he runs right into Skip McClendon. He had to get out of there, and McClendon stayed right with him, got him by the hips, and brought him down.
Well, this is what I meant when I said earlier we're going to have to get some good runs out of Bubby Brister for the Pittsburgh offense to be consistent. Right now he can't find a receiver because there's good coverage downfield, but McClendon fell off his block to make a good play. I think we're going to see more of Brister running the ball.
It looked as though he was trying to get it to Lips. Lips, as you said, just wasn't open. He had to get out of there. 2nd down and 9. He picked up 1 on the scramble. Down at the 10-yard line. Good fake by Brister. Looked as though he was rolling out and going to roll and pass. Then Hodge came right through there and took the handoff.
Smart offensive play, too. You knew that Cincinnati would be charging on the pass, so this is the time you want to get them with a screen or a draw. It developed beautifully. The hard-charging defense of Cincinnati ran right past them, and Joe Kelly, 58, was the first man to get his hand on Hodge.
Ball control, what the Steelers want to do. This is the 10th play of the drive. 3rd down conversions. You saw that 2 of 3, and Pittsburgh will get a chance to talk it over. Cincinnati must use a timeout. Sam White going to talk with his defensive unit, and we'll be back in Cincinnati. Donovan and Joe Namath back at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. Bengals scored on an 86-yard bomb. Boomer Esiason to Eddie Brown, but Pittsburgh now 10th play of the drive coming up at the Cincinnati 14. Joe, 3rd down and a long 2.
A long 2. What Pittsburgh should do right now is call 2 plays in the huddle. Get up to the line of scrimmage and give young Bubby Brister a chance to look at that defense. See if they're playing awful tight. Maybe he'll go with the play action pass. If they're not playing as tight as he figures he can get a run through there, go with the run. He should have 2 plays called.
He's got 3 wide receivers, and now Warren Williams down the line in motion. Had trouble with the snap. He'll run, he'll get it, and he will score. And look at the slide right into the band, too. Bubby Brister does it all. He could have conducted the band.
A well-designed quarterback play. They faked the pass. Bubby just dropped back a little bit and carried it in the end zone. He's going to have to work on his spike when he gets it to the end zone and his footwork, I'm afraid.
Now I'm wondering, there's a flag down, but it's a touchdown. See if he has trouble with the snap. He did.
He did have trouble, but it's a running play all the way for Bubby Brister. This is designed for Brister to carry it upfield. You see, the defense normally doesn't have a man to cover the quarterback whenever he breaks out of the pocket. That's what happened. They showed pass. No one covered Brister, and he ran the draw play.
It was an unnecessary roughness penalty on the Bengals' Ricky Dixon. But the touchdown counts. Injured Bengal down on the floor here at Riverfront Stadium. And it's Solomon Wilcox. And he's walking off as Gary Anderson attempts to tie the ball game at 7 apiece.
You know, I love this. Pittsburgh Steelers, they win with their hearts most of the time. They don't have the talent that the Cincinnati Bengals have, but football is a game of emotion. Those people back in western Pennsylvania, they know that if Pittsburgh can get out there and want it badly enough, they have a chance of beating anyone, anytime. There's a tough attitude on the Steelers team, and football, folks, is a game of emotions.
That was Brister's 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Gary Anderson. Boy, that's beyond being automatic, isn't it? 193 in a row. This is for the tie now. 6:25 remaining. First quarter here in Cincinnati. Make it 194 in a row for Gary Anderson and make it a 7-7 ball game. Bubby Brister with the slam dunk. And then he becomes the music man into the band.
Thank you, Jim. We have the results of the New York Marathon now. On the men's side, the winner, 33-year-old Steve Jones of Great Britain, his time 2:08:20. On the women's side, Greta Weitz of Norway wins New York for the 9th time. Her time 2:28:06. Joan Benoit Samuelson was 3rd. Back to Cincinnati.
Thanks, Gail. 1st and 10. Bengals with it at the 14-yard line. Tie ball game, 7-7. Boomer Esiason went big to Eddie Brown on their first possession for an 86-yard touchdown pass. And he went upstairs. A sliding catch at the 20-yard line. Pulled down by Tim McGee. And a good catch, too. McGee makes the grab.
Tim McGee just worked his way across the field that time and found the open spot. Of course, McGee's been playing a lot more because of the injured Chris Collingsworth, who is now available. But once McGee got his foot in the door, hey, he's a hard guy to sit down. He's really been playing well for the Bengals.
Gain of 9, 2nd down and 1. 23-yard line. McGee and Brown, wide receivers, down at the bottom of your screen. James Brooks. Good run out over the 35-yard line to the 36 and a 1st down. Tackle made by Cornell Gowdy and Dwayne Woodruff. There's Brooks.
And Brooks loves running behind this big offensive line. They do a good job. You'll see Montoya throw a good block here. Number 63, Walter, just screening out his man. And Brooks, with his speed and quickness, just jumps through the hole.
Boy, Walter looked like he was just putting a little hip check hockey there, didn't he? 14-yard run by Brooks. 1st down, Cincinnati. 4:50 remaining. First quarter. Jim Riggs, the tight end in motion. Beautiful fake by Esiason. Now what's he going to do with it? Incomplete. Flag goes down too on a late hit. Rodney Holman was the intended receiver. Stanley Wilson is down injured over on the Steelers sideline. Here you see him getting up slowly, and the late flag down. Wilson took a shot right in the back. You see him holding his hand to the back, right around his hip. Red Cashin getting the call from his officials.
Well, the ball's overthrown here, and the hit comes in. Now, I don't know. This is a tough call to make. Woodruff doesn't know that that ball is going to be that high over the receiver's head. And Woodruff just did what a defensive back instinctively does.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 49 on the defense after the ball was over him. It'll be 15 yards from the previous spot. 1st down.
Well, in their opinion, it was an unnecessary hit. It was a mighty close call, and I really can't blame Woodruff for that hit.
Woodruff could take it to a higher court, and boy, could he ever now, because he just passed the Pennsylvania bar exam earlier this week. Found out, and our congratulations to him. And he has no right of appeal today, though.
Well, he said it was a family success. He and his wife, Joy, years ago, set that goal to finish the law school, and he's done it.
Big penalty, though. 15 yards puts them in Pittsburgh territory. That's Icky Woods. And the rookie out of Nevada, Las Vegas, and a big hit here in the Cincinnati area carries down to the Pittsburgh 30. Rod Woodson made the tackle, an 18-yard gain for the ponytailed Icky Woods.
And the people love him around Cincinnati. Sam Weich was telling us just yesterday how much of an impact Icky Woods has had here in the community. He's a very soft-spoken, nice young man, but with speed and power as a football player. Elusive moves, and for a rookie, he's just doing one whale of a job. Of course, the offensive line, once again, should get the credit for opening that huge hole.
And you almost had a face masking call on Dwayne Woodard. He got his hand tied up in the mask of Icky Woods. Near side rollout. Boomer's going to keep it and get out of bounds before he took a hit from Brian Hinkle. He goes out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Esiason pointing out the blocking instructions after he rolled out and decided he wasn't going to put it up in the air. He was going to run it.
Well, he's a smart runner. I mentioned running smartly for quarterbacks. Boomer's one of them. Montoya, number 65, is out in front, and he does a good job right there on Roland Putzer. Montoya, big mobile lineman. This whole Cincinnati team seems like they're just giants out there.
7 yards on the scramble run by Esiason. 3:47 left first quarter as we look from a safety's viewpoint on Boomer Esiason. Football, and the ball is recovered there by Montoya, I believe. Munoz up with the football as he recovers the ball. Brooks got stripped of the football at about the 22, and then Munoz popped right on it at the 21. He was right on the spot.
Some good hard hitting by that Pitt defense that time.
We'll be back to Riverfront Stadium in just a second. Tie ball game 7-7. Bengals did not drop back very far. And what they try and do is not allow the defensive lineup to get adjustments and substitutions in. They're right up there very quickly. Third down and short. Icky Woods. Well, he just about got the 6 inches to the 20-yard line, and it should be a Cincinnati first down. The Steelers are saying that Woods was separated from the football, and they want to see that official point that the ball is their way. And they will not get the call.
Sam Weich going about business, not concerned with what the Steelers are doing out there. It was a good hit by Keith Gary, the defensive lineman for the Steelers that time, that jarred the ball loose, and the Steelers are still upset, but as you see, Boomer just going back to work. Tough break, fellas.
You see the Steeler defense right there because they're only a couple of yards away from the line of scrimmage. Out of their sugar huddle they come. They signal the play in from the bench. You saw Sam Weich do that. 1st and 10 from the 20. Riggs in motion. For the third time in a row, Woods gets the ball. He's got the sideline. Inside the 10. It will be 1st and goal, Bengals. Let's go around the league right now. Check in on the early scores. Philadelphia and the Rams. Mike Lansford has a field goal in that game, so the Rams at least lead 3-0. Miami, New England scoreless in the first. Giants jump out. Minnesota leads on an Allen Rice touchdown, and Chris Miller threw a 46-yard touchdown pass to Gene Lang, and the Falcons lead Green Bay 7-0. 7-7 here. Bubby Brister, a 6-yard touchdown run, 9-yard touchdown run, and Boomer Esiason, 86-yard touchdown pass to Eddie Brown to start the game, and it's 7-7. And the Bengals looking for more. 1st and goal. James Brooks on a sweep. Inside the 5-yard line. And he's brought down by Hardy Nickerson, 54, the linebacker for the Steelers.
Coach Noll told me yesterday this linebacking group of the Steelers is the bright spot of his defense. The defense overall has not been playing steady football, but he said this linebacking core, they're active. They're after it every play. He's pleased with the effort his team's been giving. It's just that they've been too gracious with the giveaways offensively and on the special teams.
Brooks brought it down to the 5. Esiason looks it over on 2nd down and goal. Brooks out of the backfield in motion. Quick pass, touchdown! for Esiason. A 5-yard dart.
Tim McGee, he just got inside position on cornerback Rod Woodson, and a dart it was. That ball was low and right in the breadbasket. The right spot, you just couldn't break that pass up.
It has been a jungle for visiting teams here this year, trying to come in and beat the Bengals. And that's what they're calling Riverfront Stadium this year, the jungle. As Jim Breach puts it through. And on the Esiason 5-yard touchdown pass to McGee, the Bengals lead again.
The Steelers playing run here, charging into that offensive line that doesn't give any ground. Boomer has plenty of time to throw and room to throw. McGee, number 85, just fights his way inside Woodson, and look where that ball is. Perfect spot.
It had to be. Woodson was right there. McGee with the celebration and a 14-7 Cincinnati lead. It was a 9-play drive, 86 yards. And the drive was made up, Joe, of 7 rushing plays, 2 pass plays.
Well, that tells us something about this attack of Cincinnati's. As we mentioned earlier, they've run the football more than anyone, with the exception of Houston and Chicago.
Let's go to New York for an NFL Live update with Gail Gardner on the Patriots-Dolphins game.
All right, Jim, scoreless game in Foxborough between the Patriots and the Dolphins. The Patriots were driving at the 2-yard line. Doug Flutie back to pass, being chased by Hugh Green, throws it into the end zone, picked off by Pro Bowler John Offerdahl. Still scoreless. Let's go back to Cincinnati.
Chuck Noll hoping that his offense can answer now. The Bengals, who have jumped out 14-7. Bubby Brister starts them at the 20-yard line. Hinnant in motion. A lot of time. Even more time. And Eric Thomas breaks up the pass intended for Weegee Thompson. Boy, did Brister have a lot of time back then. Too much time on his hands.
Well, as a quarterback, I don't think you ever have too much time. He bought some good time by moving around. He's dancing a little bit. He can't find a receiver. Now, you have to say Cincinnati's doing some kind of a job with their coverage downfield. And the Steeler offensive line kept people off Bubby, but he just never was able to get it to an opening receiver.
Coming in there was Jason Buck, 99, finally. To force Brister to throw it out of bounds. 2nd down 10, under a minute to go. Brister's numbers on the day, but he has the touchdown run of 9 yards. Warren Williams. And he's out to the 25-yard line. Leon White, the outside linebacker, and Joe Kelly there to make the tackle. Joe, when Brister was back there, they say sometimes a quarterback has happy feet. And he was dancing around there a little bit.
Yeah, well, there's a big difference between happy feet and nervous feet. What we have to do is differentiate between the two, and at this stage of Bubby's career, I'm afraid that most of it is nervous feet at this time.
Yeah, when you're 2-7.
Yeah, and have been getting knocked down quite a bit, but make no mistake, Brister has got a lot of good potential, buddy.
3rd down and 5. Lips and Thompson. And Williams in motion. Warren Williams makes the catch, and a good run afterwards, and he's still going out over the 40-yard line, up near the 45, and a big 3rd down conversion for the Steelers. They were 3 of 4, now 4 of 5, and that's the end of the first quarter here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. The rookie Warren Williams with the good catch. The Steelers on the move.
Army challenges you to identify the best in the game in this session of Chalk Talk.
Accepting the challenge to be the best is the first step for any player or team.
Bay leads over the Bears. Miami, New England still pitching a shutout at Sullivan Stadium. Giants doing it a little bit easier today. They've been coming from behind of late. They jump out 10-0. And Atlanta and Minnesota maintaining their leads. Here in Cincinnati, 14-7. The Bengals leading as we begin the second quarter. Bubby Brister and the Steelers with the ball. 46-yard line. On a 3rd down play right at the end of the first quarter, Brister connected with rookie running back Warren Williams on a pass play that gained 21 yards. They go right back to Williams on a sweep. Oh, and a nice hit right away by Leon White. Boy, did he meet Williams and drive him out of bounds.
Leon White Just played the blocker beautifully that time. He stood him up, strung out the play, and when the runner was approaching, Big Leon said, "That's enough," threw aside the blocker and made the play. You'll see him on the top side of your screen, upper right-hand side, number 51. He throws Merle Hodge out of the way and then just makes the play.
A tough 1 yard for Williams, 2nd down and 9. Light snow falling, Riverfront Stadium. And it has been throughout the morning and now into the early afternoon. Hit it in motion and then heads back the other way. Big rush, McClendon right on Brister. Got him! Skip McClendon with the sack of Bubby Brister.
I tell you, you won't see this very often, folks. McClendon beats Tunch Ilkin, number 62, at the top right of your screen. Now watch this. You're seeing something special because Tunch Ilkin, number 62, has given up only 1.5 sacks the last 35 games. This is only number 2.5, folks, in 36 games. So McClendon has done something that other players couldn't do to Tunch Ilkin and just beat him one-on-one.
Boy, look at that. 3rd down, 30. They run it to Merle Hodge. Reggie Williams made the first hit on him, and he slides down to the 30-yard line. He was finished off by Barney Bussey.
You know, the bad thing about that last time of the sack for Pittsburgh is it did lose so much yardage. You'd like your quarterback to be able to get rid of the ball before the sack, but I really didn't see any chance for Brister to unload it in any direction where it was safe. It was a good defensive play by McClendon.
Now you're looking at number 50, David Little. There he is. He's calling out the blocking assignment on this Newsom punt because they've had so many problems that they made a change. There's a flag down on the punt by Newsom. Ira Hillary takes it. And jitterbugs his way out over the 30-yard line to the 33. There is a flag down at about the 24 of Pittsburgh. Newsom looking back.
Cincinnati put good pressure on Pittsburgh that time.
And it's against the Steelers. And when you've had as many problems as they have had punting the football, when you have to repunt it.
Illegal formation. Only 6 men on the line by the offense. That penalty is declined. 1st down and 10.
Well, you say, woof, because you probably don't want to repunt it again.
Yes, sir.
Chuck Noll, his special teams have had problems this year, and his team trails by 7. He's in now with the ball on over the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Fake to Brooks. Going for Eddie Brown again. He's got it. At the 29-yard line, he came back and made the catch on Woodson.
Good pass protection once again for Boomer Esiason, number 78, Anthony Munoz. Just doing a terrific job on Freeman, giving Boomer all the time he needs. The rest of it, of course, is all Eddie Brown. Rod Woodson, again, is in pretty good shape. It's just he turns around, he loses the ball right here. Didn't know where it is and didn't adjust quickly enough.
38-yard gain, 1st and 10, 29-yard line of Pittsburgh. Bengals lead 14-7. Ira Hillary was coming in motion. They're sweeping. It's Brooks. And the Steelers do a fine job. They're all over that play. Cornell Gowdy came up from his strong safety spot, and he was the first man in on Brooks. And he had plenty of company. Nickerson and Gary were both there, too.
Well, what happened that time for Cincinnati, Max Montoya, the lineman that was leading on the blocking right here, he's so far out in front, it took Brooks a long time to get close enough to him. You see, Brooks could not make the decision to go inside or outside. In other words, the relationship between Brooks and Montoya wasn't a good one. Brooks should have been closer to his blocker.
Let's also give Greg Lloyd some credit for coming in there, 95.
Absolutely.
12:08 left to go, first half. They lose 4, 2nd down, 14. High formation in the backfield, Wilson and Brooks. Look at the time for Boomer. Into the end zone, McGee. And Rod Woodson over there to knock it away. 10-minute ticker time. Scoreboard check on Sunday number 10 in the NFL as McGee heads back. And here we go. Rams and Philadelphia still tied. Now the Patriots lead over Miami, 7-0. Patriots unbeatable at home this year, and Doug Flutie has them excited there. Giants by 10. Minnesota has upped their lead over the Lions, and Atlanta still leading on that Chris Miller touchdown pass early in that game.
Tell you, Boomer looked a little greedy to me on that last play. He had James Brooks wide open for a shorter gain and all the time in the world to get him the ball. It looked like Boomer was trying to force that touchdown pass in.
Can the Steelers stop them now on 3rd and 14 with Eddie Brown in motion? And making the catch. He's got the sideline and a first down too. Up near the 10. Dwayne Woodruff on the coverage. Boomer loves what he's seeing there on that matchup.
Oh, yes, and can Boomer throw it? I mean, he has all day back there in the pocket getting good blocking from this offensive line. Look at his block here by Wilson. And here it's just a foot race across the field, and you're not going to be able to keep up with Brown. He's just too fast. 3 receptions already for 157 yards and 1 touchdown for Eddie Brown. What a start.
Boy, that was a beautiful block by Wilson on Gary coming in. Stanley Wilson laid it down on Gary, and that gave Esiason the needed time. 1st and goal. Ickey Woods. Inside the 5, brought down by David Little. There's Ickey getting up. Punishing back when he gets near that goal line. Anytime that they're really from the 2 or 1 inside the 5, they love to give it to him because he has so much forward momentum and pushes the tackler in with him.
And what they did that time was ask James Brooks to block for Ickey Woods, and that time Brooks nearly got knocked in the next week by number 95, Greg Lloyd, but Brooks occupied Lloyd enough for Ickey Woods to get outside and make the game.
Esiason now brings them out 2nd down and goal at the 4-yard line. They lead 14-7 on 2 Boomer touchdown passes. A fake reverse to Brown. Brooks keeps and scores. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Miami bound. They are today.
Well, Brooks is going to fake the reverse here. It looks like the Pittsburgh defense freezes a little bit right here whenever they see that fake, and they just don't get over there. This is some fancy running, too. I mean, it's not all faking. That's a lot of good footwork by Brooks.
Jim Breach for the extra point. Snuck it through there, and with 10:41 remaining here in the first half, James Brooks has given Cincinnati a 21-7 lead over the Steelers. Here's the football.
Hey, Brister made a good throw that time. I don't know why Lips pulled up. I mean, the ball was out in front. He had a chance to make the catch, but Lips stopped on the pattern. Here he has enough time. He gets it off in good shape. That's the kind of hit quarterbacks get a lot that we don't get to see. But you see Lips on the left side, 83 just stopping. Had he maintained his route on the outside, he could have caught that pass.
Uh-oh, Merrill Hodge has the football slip out of his hands, and while he was in midair, it came back to him.
He made a good catch.
Does that go as a complete pass that he throws himself?
No, I don't think that one's a complete pass. But Pittsburgh's got to get something established here offensively. The defense of the Steelers is going to have their hands full, as we all know, with the Cincinnati team. They've got to come up with a big play here now on 3rd down, get some kind of a drive going.
4 for 6, but looking at 3rd and 7 right now, out over their own 35-yard line at the 37. Ray Horton, 20, pops up to the line of scrimmage, faking the blitz. He doesn't come, but they're coming with a whole bunch of people, and Brister throws, and it's incomplete. Charles Lockett went down on one knee. Brister to the sideline, and Harry Newsom and the Pittsburgh punting team will come out, and the crowd, thunderous ovation for the Bengal defense.
This is really going to test the Steelers' character. I mean, they're already down by 14 and punting the ball to one of the awesome offenses in the league. We're going to see what the Steeler defense is made of, folks, in this next quarter.
There's David Little calling out the blocking assignment on the punt. Merrill Hodge was doing that last week, but they got fouled up on a punt. Ended up getting it blocked, so now Little is calling out the signals. Plus, he's a bigger blocking back, too. Newsom didn't get all of this one, but he get a pretty good bounce. Ira Hillary at his 18. Slips and falls out by the 28-yard line, and the Bengal offense comes back on the field. They have been pretty close to unstoppable as they lead 21-7.
Game is brought to you by Nissan Cars and Trucks, built for the most important race of all, the human race. Buy new Extra Gold Draft in bottles and cans, the one with a full tilt taste. And by Holiday Inn Hotels, there's no better way to take a time out.
On first downs today, look at this. 9 plays for the Steelers, getting 3.5 yards. The Bengals are getting a first down on first down, 10.1 yards.
Well, I guess the basic reason for this, folks, is right now the Bengals have a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers do. Games are usually won at the line of scrimmage, and this offensive line and the defensive front of the Bengals are controlling the game.
Joe, you're making this far too soon. 21-7 Cincinnati. Esiason out of the backfield, Stanley Wilson. And Wilson goes out over the 35 to the 36-yard line as he catches the pass of Boomer Esiason. We go around the NFL now, and the Bears are on the board and now lead over Tampa Bay 7-3. New England leading Miami 7-0. The Giants now another field goal, lead 13-0. And Atlanta has added to their lead over Green Bay 14-0 in the second quarter. 21-7 here. Boomer Esiason, 2 touchdown passes. One to Eddie Brown of 86 yards. One of 5 yards to Tim McGee, and a touchdown run by James Brooks. Bubby Brister has a 9-yard touchdown run for the Steelers. And James Brooks will get a Cincinnati first down out over the 40-yard line. A reminder to our viewers that we will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. Sam White has to love what he sees so far here in the first half. His offense moving smooth and easy. James Brooks back into the huddle.
And an offense that's somewhat complicated, too. I sat in with Sam White and his quarterbacks in the meeting Friday, and they went through the game plan, and I'll tell you what, these boys have to be alert. I mean, he was throwing questions at Boomer, boom, 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 rapid fire, and Esiason had the answers.
And he asked you if there were any questions, and you had both hands up. James Brooks again makes the catch, and he's out of a tackle, out inside Pittsburgh territory. Thomas Everett makes the tackle at the 46-yard line, as Brooks showing you the whole package today, running and receiving.
Well, obviously what Pittsburgh's defensive plan was prior to the game certainly needs some change right now. I mean, they haven't stopped Cincinnati yet. I would look for Pittsburgh to try and change up their defense, start blitzing people, bring them to the tighter to the line of scrimmage. You've got to do something. You have to make a change right now because the Cincinnati offense is running at will and passing at will.
From the Pittsburgh 46-yard line, a 14-yard pass play from Esiason to Brooks on that last play on first down. Briggs in motion. Wilson the ball carrier. And a big hole up the middle inside the 40-yard line. David Little got a tackle. Also helped out by Brian Hinkle, but a good first down run by Stanley Wilson.
Oh, you see the hole open up right there in the middle of your screen, folks. Just a fine blocking job in there by the Cincinnati Bengal line. And today, Bruce Kozerski, number 64, the center that's playing this year for Dave Remington's doing a fine job. Coach Knoll can't be very happy right now with what's going on.
8 of 8, second down 2. Esiason's got the ball on a great fake, but he's running out of time and has to throw it away. There's a flag down. Let's see if they hit Esiason late after he threw the ball back at the 50-yard line. He had 2 Steelers draped all over him. Red Cashin will straighten it out for us, and it won't take too much time for him to make the call because he threw the flag.
I bet this is going to be a little complicated.
Keith Gary is saying that it's against the Bengals.
Intentional grounding, number 7 on the offense. Third down.
All right, so Brooks was not in the area.
Oh, yes, he was in the area. He sure was in the area. This is a judgment call by the official. They say when the quarterback's under a lot of duress, that's when they're going to call this. But meantime, Boomer Esiason's going the right way. Look, folks, there's my receiver right there, so I missed him. I think that was a poor call by the official.
Chuck Noll has to like the call because his team now gets the opportunity to defend against 3rd down and 15. And the ball back at midfield. Brooks is open, but he's trapped. Short gain. Hardy Nickerson was there. And also coming up was Dwayne Woodruff.
Good Pittsburgh defense that time. They dropped back into the zone areas and covered the field. There wasn't anywhere that Boomer could go deep. Here you see the Pittsburgh defense. They'll come back to areas now. They won't take a certain man. You see, they just split up the field. Each one is assigned to an area, and Boomer can't get the ball deep enough for the first down, and then the Steelers just converge on the short pass completion of James Brooks.
Scott Fullage punting from his own 38. Rod Woodson receiving. Low snap. And he shanks it. Woodson runs up. Boy, he's going to end up with a decent punt, though, because it's going to roll back to the 21-yard line. Ray Horton tried to sneak in there and say that it hit Woodson on the back of his foot. Then he picked it up. Now they start scuffling a little bit. Ray Horton snuck around the backside and tried to make like it hit the back of the heel of Rod Woodson, 26, and he's pleading his case.
Oh, it's like out in the street now, back home. These guys are trying for every edge they can get. You know, ball players want to make a play work. They'll try and fool one another, and they'll get up in each other's face and scream and yell. Here the ball is just bouncing around. Woodson doesn't get hit with the ball, but
why is he even in there, Joe? There's 3 of them around there. I'd just get the heck out of there.
No, you tempt them. You go, see, you might get something like this. You get in there and try and make the other team do something foolish. They could have called that for unsportsmanlike that time.
Here's the scuffle that ensued after that. Ball is out at the 21-yard line. Lewis Lips in motion. 21-7, Pittsburgh trails. Brister's got to unload quickly. He does. Merrill Hodge makes the catch and runs out over the 30-yard line. Bubby had to get rid of that thing because there was black and orange ready to be all over him.
Yeah, but more importantly, they had to have a successful play to get this drive started, and the screen pass was just what they needed. A good call, and it was executed beautifully. Getting that first play under your belt for a good gain gives that offensive line and the rest of the offense a little encouragement here.
6:41 left to go in the first half. It sure was a good play. 12 yards. And a first down for Pittsburgh at their own 32-yard line. Hodge on the run this time. Off the left side. Gets a couple of yards out to the 35. Carl Zander is in on the tackle. Joe Kelly is there, too. So the 2 inside linebackers team up to bring down that man, Merrill Hodge.
There's Joe Zander, the linebacker. He's been playing the best ball this season of any linebacker on the Cincinnati team. The coaches certainly pointed him out. They say, hey, this guy is our steadiest ball player right now. Joe Zander, number 91.
6:08 left to go. First half, 2nd down and 8. Gets good time. Incomplete. Lewis Lips had it on his fingertips, but he had a long way to go. He had to turn around to come back and get the ball and couldn't bring it in.
Oh, it was a beautifully thrown pass by Brister. That's the kind of catch that your top receivers are supposed to make. Sure, it was a good move by Lips to get outside, but Brister put the ball right there on target that time.
Chuck Noll wiping his face there, and now his team has 3rd and 7. Let's see this pass right here.
Oh, I think Lips is supposed to make this catch every time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 3rd and 7. Williams in motion. He's going for Lockett. And Dixon was up there to knock it away. Ricky Dixon, the rookie out of Oklahoma. Good coverage on Lockett. Scoreboard check now. And here they are. Bears starting to beat up on Tampa Bay. Miami's on the board with a field goal to tighten that one up at 7-3. Detroit comes back with 10 on Minnesota to tighten that one up. And Atlanta still leading over Green Bay 14-0. Harry Newsom must punt on 4th down. 21-7 here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Newsom gets the punt off. Ira Hillary runs up on the fly and takes it out over the 40 to the 44-yard line. Hardy Nickerson over to make the tackle along with Greg Lee. And the Bengal offense gets the ball back in good field position at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, the Bengal defense has been shutting Pittsburgh down, and this is the thing the Steelers were concerned with. They wanted to keep the ball away from this Bengal offense because of its power, and they were hoping to do it with Brister's passing attack and scrambling and their outside running game, but they haven't been able to do it so far. Cincinnati's looking awfully good. Sam White signaled it in. Esiason had them in that short, close to the line of scrimmage huddle, and off they go. Up into the air. Cornell Gowdy came in low on Ickey Woods, and up into the air he went. And down he came. When he landed, it was at the 45-yard line. Gowdy. Here you see Gowdy come up from the left side of your screen, number 29, and just go at those feet of Ickey Woods, flips him up in the air. Wow. I don't blame him for taking on that big running back low. Well, you catch him up around the chest, he'll run right over top of you. 2nd down and 9 on that vault. Briggs in motion. Ickey Woods again, and Pittsburgh's defense stiffens this time, and David Little is in there along with Gary. And you see the Steeler defense are getting a little bit pumped up now. They know they have to do something to shut down this Bengal team. And so on 2 successive plays, they have shut down Woods on the run. Well, the last series I mentioned that they needed to show a gut check. They're having a gut check, a character check. I mean, being down 21-7 this early in the game, and Cincinnati having done about what it liked offensively, the Steelers had to regroup in the defense just to show what kind of character they have out there. 3rd down 8. James Brooks down the line in motion. Esiason fires, and it is dropped. Eddie Brown, who's been very sure-handed today, has this one hit him right on the number 81 there, and he drops it down. Now, I've always said, Jim, that I missed more receivers than they dropped passes. But, man, when you see these premier receivers, Louis Lips and Eddie Brown, dropping balls that a high school athlete would eat right up, you have to wonder where their concentration is sometimes. So what those numbers told you about last year and this year on Brown is that he's been in the end zone on big plays. And that's a big, big help to the Bengal offense. Woodson makes the catch on the Fullage punt. A long way to go. There's a flag down. And it's on the Steelers, too, because they blocked from behind back at about the 10-yard line. So Woodson did have a good return out over the 30-yard line, but this one's coming back, and it's going to really pin the Steelers back deep in their own territory. That was a 46-yard punt by Scott Fullage. When Woodson took it to the far outside, Joe, that's when the block came from behind.
Illegal block during the run back. Number 95 by the receivers. It'll be 1st down and 10.
Greg Lloyd is hit with the penalty.
Well, I didn't see the illegal block. Maybe we'll pick it up here on the replay. Woodson will break out to his right. Let's see if we can find number 95, Lloyd, make the block. Right there in the center of your screen, folks. There's the culprit. You're not allowed to block from behind anytime.
And the block was on a very good special teams player for the Bengals. Darren Jordan, the linebacker out of Northeastern. He's a rookie. And look at this field position. That's what those mistakes on special teams cost you. And listen to this crowd. Oh, he's going to gamble out of his end zone. And Merrill Hodge makes the catch and run. Good play by the Steelers.
The same screen pass they completed on first down the last series to Hodge, only they went the other way this time. Watch Brister now. He nearly gets out of the back of the end zone. Well, he has another yard or so to work, but it's a well-designed play, and the Steelers get out there in front. Blankenship, number 60, does a good job of getting a block.
20th season, Chuck Noll rebuilding with a lot of young players this season. That was an 11-yard gain on first down, and again it's Hodge, and Hodge playing the James Brooks role for Pittsburgh, catching the ball and running the ball, spins out over the 20-yard line on first down. Tackle made by Tim Crumry and the free safety David Fulcher.
Yeah, but those are the kind of tackles that Crumry doesn't like to make because it was 5 yards downfield. This man is so active, and again, Joe Green credits Crumry with his wrestling experience for being able to get rid of blockers, shed them, and make the play.
Ball out over the 20-yard line, second down. And 5. Good fake by Brister to Williams. He's firing. He's got Ouija Thompson open. But the ball was thrown a little bit short, and Eric Thomas got in there to knock it away.
Boy, you said it. It was an underthrow. If Bubby Brister has that ball out front for the big 6'6" Thompson, it's a huge gainer. But it was an underthrow, so Cincinnati got a break, and we see Ouija Thompson has come up lame. You really can't see how much Ouija Thompson had to stop his pass route to wait on this ball from this picture, but he was a good 3 yards. 3 yards or better behind Larry Griffin, the defender.
So it is now third down at 6 as Thompson continues to try and walk off that jammed ankle. 2:57 left to go, first half. Williams in motion. Oh, they try and run it, and that goes nowhere. Except into the arms of number 70, Jim Scow. They tried to cross up the Bengals with a run to Merrill Hodge, and Scow was right there with a big Bengal hug.
Scow was there, and they had a man assigned to block Scow, number 42, Warren Williams, and I just think that that's a tremendous mismatch. Look on the right side of your screen. Scow comes inside, and you see number 42, Warren Williams, just standing there. He never had a chance to get in front of Scow.
Newsom standing at his 5. Ira Hillary is back deep for the Bengals at his 40. Again, a low punt and very returnable. Here comes Hillary. And he takes it into Pittsburgh territory down near the 40-yard line and then runs right out of bounds into the safety of the Bengal bench. Those low punts come right back in your face.
Yes, and we're getting these punts from the league's best. And Newsom, he's had a terrific year distance-wise.
But, you know, from deep in his territory, he's got to be thinking nothing but nightmares.
Oh, he'll be
all those blocks.
He'll be thinking about blocked punts for the rest of the season, probably, and he'll have a bad rest of the season if he continues to do that. I hope he gets it out of his mind.
All right, Chuck Noll's defense tested again now, because look at where Cincinnati starts in Pittsburgh territory, already leading by 14. They dump it off to Ickey Woods. They got a pretty good hit on him by Brian Hinkle, but not before he picked up good yardage inside the 35-yard line as we come to 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Cincinnati leads over Pittsburgh 21-7. Lead over the Rams 10-3. Chicago with the lead. Tony Franklin kicking now for Miami. Used to kick for the Patriots. Now kicking for the Dolphins. Has kicked a field goal in that game. 7-3. The Giants.
Oh, my. Giants have found some offense, huh?
Yeah, where have the Cowboys gone, Joe? Detroit back into that game. And here, Cincinnati leading 21-7 with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Boomer Esiason has had a big first half. 2 touchdown passes. He opened the game up on their first possession. Second play with an 86-yard bomb. He aired it out to Eddie Brown. It is 21-7, and it is first and 10 at the Pittsburgh 33. James Brooks sneaks through a hole inside the 30 down to the Pittsburgh 27. Cornell Gotti, David Little tackling on Brooks. Bengals have 2 timeouts left. Remember, they had to use one defensively early in the game. So they have 2 left here in the half, and we have 1:38 and the clock running as Chris Collinsworth, boy, in his great career against the Steelers, never scored a touchdown. But he's in there right now. Maybe that ends today. Esiason not looking his way right now. Instead, he goes right back to Eddie Brown, and why not? Brown's been a favorite target today, and he's working on Dwayne Woodruff, and Woodruff is really getting worked on.
Esiason's getting all the time he wants back there. I don't care who you are as a defensive back, Dwayne Woodruff or anyone else. When you give a quarterback that much time, a receiver is going to get open on you.
1:05, and now they start the clock up as they get the markers set on that first down catch. Right up to the line of scrimmage. Here's Esiason scrambling. He's going to run it. Now he's running back. Now he'll throw it. They're going to rule that incomplete. They say Brooks juggled the ball and never had possession and never caught it, that he had scooped it up at the 5. What, that was exciting, though.
I'll tell you, once again, we see another receiver drop a ball that's right there. That's certainly handleable. You watch this. Brooks is supposed to make this catch. He gets turned a little bit off balance, but the ball's in his hands, and he just can't get a handle on it. It's not raining out here. Had Boomer been looking for Chris Collinsworth, maybe they would have gotten the 6 points that they're talking about. Look at that move he laid down.
And he would have had his first touchdown against the Steelers.
Oh, he left Rod Woodson running in the wrong direction.
And at the tail end of that replay, and only at the tail end, did Woodson finally appear. Esiason now second down at 10. Boy, just pick out somebody. He's got all the time in the world. And Ickey Woods makes the catch at the 10 and then gets hammered. David Linnell and Greg Lloyd put the hit on Ickey Woods. 33 seconds remaining. Timeout, Cincinnati. And we'll be right back with the final 33 right after this. The 13-year veteran out of Dartmouth, and coming up at halftime when we go back to New York at NFL Live, a halftime feature on Reggie Williams. Boomer Esiason to the sidelines. Got the word from Sam Weiss what they want to do here in the final 33 seconds as they lead 21-7. And they'll try and put it in for some more and put this thing to bed. That would be a huge lead.
Oh, and it's tough on the morale, too, for Pittsburgh if the Bengals get a score just before halftime to go in being down 28 or 24 points. It's tough.
They're down in 4. All right, he might be checking off as you can hear him.
Was in position, but folks, you have to play the ball. You can't just get up in the receiver's face and eye guard him. Had Woodruff at least made a turn to attempt to play the ball, there wouldn't have been interference call.
In the end zone, it'll be first down on the 1-yard line and goal.
Now watch Woodruff. He never turns to play the ball. He's right in the receiver's face.
Yeah, wasn't he turned there?
Oh, and it hit him right in the head.
Are eligible.
Now you don't think he turned here, Joe?
Well, let's take another look.
Turns there.
He turns late, but he bumps him at the same time, and it's a judgment call, so anytime it's judgment call, you really don't have an argument.
Boy, he's had a tough day on Eddie Brown. Dwayne Woodruff, Eddie Brown came to catch today, didn't he? And Boomer came to throw it to him. First and goal at the 1 with 27 seconds left here in the half. But the officials are ruling the ball is out beyond the, not in the end zone, that it was fumbled back there.
Well, you can't advance the ball down here. It has to go where the point was where the runner fumbled the ball. Cincinnati will retain possession, but they won't get credit for the touchdown. Here you see Ickey Wood doesn't quite get it. Well, that's Wilson, actually, 32. He never has a handle on the ball, and he fumbles it before he gets to the goal line.
So they'll try it again. Ickey Woods on the fake, and Hardy Nickerson with the interception. And you talk about big defensive plays. That's a huge one for the Steelers, one that keeps them in the game with 8 seconds to go in the half. His first interception, Hardy Nickerson, and boy, did it come at a big time.
Oh, the Steelers needed a shot in the arm. Look at them on their sidelines now. They're going to take this momentum in at halftime and try and build from it. Come out the second half fighting. This has got to give the team a tremendous lift.
And a big hug from David Little. What a fake to Ickey Woods. And then Esiason rifled it into the end zone. And Nickerson had it hit him, and then he got control for the interception. Touchback. Ball out at the 20-yard line. Bubby Brister down to one knee. And the Steelers run into the locker room. They're running in like they're ahead in the ball game. 21-7 Cincinnati over the Steelers. But it could have been easily 28-7. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. 15 yards in passing in the first half for Boomer Esiason, and 2 touchdown passes. One to Eddie Brown, one to Tim McGee. First half numbers. The turnover for the Bengals, Joe, turns out to be a big one. Esiason throws right at the end of the half in the final 8 seconds into the end zone from the 1-yard line, and it was picked off by Hardy Nickerson, and that keeps the Steelers in the game, trailing 21-7.
Well, that turnover and the fact that the Steelers haven't turned the ball over themselves, they've had that problem this season with the block punts and with the -10 in the turnover ratio. But that big goal line stand and that interception has got to do a lot of good for the enthusiasm of the Steelers coming out here in the second half.
Yeah, that had to turn it around from being an absolutely bleak locker room scene at halftime to at least one with some sun at the end of the tunnel. Let's go back now at the end of the first half, and here's Esiason with the fake to Ickey Woods. And Joe, he's looking for Rodney Holman, it looks like, 82.
Yeah, but Nickerson is right there. I don't know how Boomer could throw this pass. There are 3 white jerseys and Holman alone in the middle of them. It was a poor throw, certainly, by Esiason, and Nickerson made the good play.
This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Gary Anderson to kick it away. Mark Logan and Stanford Jennings are back deep for Cincinnati. So the Steelers defense will be tested right off the bat again here in the second half, and they must make a stand. Anderson ready to kick it away. They have to stop the Bengals and get on the board quickly. 21-7, we're underway. Jim Donovan and Joe Namath with you from Cincinnati. Mark Logan takes it at his 2. Boy, Mark Logan, a tough man to bring down, out to the 26, the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Warren Williams. And Esiason back out onto the field. 11 for 17. 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception that we just showed you.
And he's really not having that hot a day. I mean, there were a couple of times he held onto the ball when he had open receivers, and he just didn't get the ball to his receivers. Of course, he had the drop pass by Eddie Brown, but Boomer's not having his best day.
Eddie Brown is 158 yards receiving in the first half. That's the most of any Bengal receiver in a full game. Remember, Brown's only played a half. Running the football, and he should have a first down out over the 35-yard line.
Well, Dwayne Woodruff tried to bring Woods down up high, and that's what we talked about earlier when the safety Cornell Gowdy made the shoestring tackle. It was a smart move. Here you see Woodruff trying to bring Woods down from up high, and you just can't do that. Ickey's a strong runner, and he just gets right through Woodruff.
Woodruff and Nickerson on the tackle. But it is a 1st and 10. Out over the 35, the 37-yard line. Riggs in motion. Back to Woods. And look at Ickey Woods go! Finally dragged down by Rod Woodson, who had to run a long way to get him out at the 6-yard line.
Well, folks, That's the longest run so far against this Steeler defense this year. And Ickey Woods finds a huge hole in the left side of his offensive front and just cuts it back against the grain. Outruns everyone except Rod Woodson coming on the left side of your screen to save the touchdown.
And Woodson had to use all of that world-class speed to chase him down. There's Ickey Woods. 56-yard run by Ickey Woods. First and goal. Stanley Wilson to the 5. Remember, the last time Wilson carried the ball in this territory, he fumbled the ball forward and it went into the end zone. It was recovered by Woods, but you can't score that way anymore in the NFL, thanks to the Raiders and Ken Stabler and Dave Casper.
That's right. Back in the 70s, Raiders, Ken Stabler fumbled the ball forward and Casper recovered it for a touchdown. So the NFL changed the rules and they stated that inside that 20, anytime a ball carrier fumbles it, it comes back, and your team recovers it, it comes back to the spot where the original carrier fumbled the ball.
Second down and goal. Two wide receivers top of your screen. Ickey Woods. Woods off a tackle. He should have been stopped at the 5. He got drilled at the 5 and bangs off the tackle down to the 2.
Strength, that's what makes a big difference between these pro running backs we're seeing out here and the guys that almost make it. Ickey Woods just gets nailed right in there at the line of scrimmage. A good hit put down by Nickerson, number 54, but he keeps those legs going and fights back for the extra yardage to avoid the loss.
Gowdy finally dragged him down. It took a couple of players from the secondary to come up and make the tackle on number 30. Ickey Woods, rookie from Nevada, Las Vegas. Third down and goal. They'll try and punch it in from the 2. The fake reverse again. Touchdown, James Brooks.
Well, they're 2 for 2 with that fake reverse. Cincinnati makes the reverse to Brown, and here you see James Brooks holds on to the ball. Max Montoya gets out there with the good block on Gowdy, the cornerback, and then it's just a foot race. And hey, Brooks is going to win that foot race every time with the linebacker.
James Brooks, his second touchdown of the day, and on the exact same play. The fake reverse to Brown. He keeps it and gets to the corner and scores. And so the touchdown that they didn't get at the end of the first half, they get on their first possession of the second half. Brooks takes it in. There's your score. Big right. And goes out to about the 23-yard line.
You know, going back to that kickoff and Woodson's decision to stay in the end zone, it seems to me when the offense is having such a difficult time getting things going, you want to take every chance, every opportunity you have of turning in a big play, and running back kicks and punts can be big plays for you.
All right, there's Detroit with 10. Minnesota leads 20-10. And Atlanta has up their lead over Green Bay. Second down and 7, a 3-yard gain for Merrill Hodge. A long way back now for the Steelers, down 28-7. And Warren Williams cannot hang on in between two linebackers, Joe Kelly and Reggie Williams, down at the 30-yard line.
Well, it would have been a good catch by Warren Williams that time. Bubby Brister was a little bit off the mark. You see these Cincinnati defenders, they're just playing a fine game out there, and coupled with Pittsburgh's inability to move the ball consistently, they've been hurting themselves all season long. And, hey, they've had some injuries in that offensive line. They've had to shuffle it around, but folks in Pennsylvania, they're tired of hearing about excuses. They want to see this Pittsburgh team start winning some games.
Total yards over 3-1 for the Bengals. Boy, now you're predictable on third down and 7. Ouija Thompson with the juggle, tried to pull it down twice and couldn't at the 30-yard line. And now Tunchilkin is pushing with Tim Crumry. Tempers get a little short. The Steelers offense leaves, and the Bengal defense leaves to another big ovation.
Here you see Crumry, number 69, trying to fight his way through two blockers. Tunchilkin is the one that ends up on him, and you can bet Tim Crumry gets tired of being double-teamed and triple-teamed. He's such a good nose tackle, though. That's the only way they can really stop this guy, to put two people on him.
Ira Hillary has had a good time returning the low Harry Newsom punch today. And that will be the situation again. And inside the 40-yard line, Ira Hillary runs it down into Pittsburgh territory as the Bengal fans up and hollering today. They lead the Central Division and lead the Steelers big.
Mitch, where are you?
No, I haven't got
Get it out. Service, please.
At the 2nd Avenue.
2 of their last 3. They had to get that man going again, Eddie Brown and Esiason, that connection, because they were without a touchdown pass in the last 2 weeks. Boy, have they ever gotten it going today. 35-7. Brown has 2 touchdown catches, 3 touchdown passes for Esiason, and Rod Woodson brings the ball out this time over the 30 to the 32-yard line. So the Steeler offense, Joe, and I'll put it right on you now. You're the Steeler offensive coordinator. What are you going to do to try and get back in this thing?
Well, I'm not going to try and fool Cincinnati with a rushing attack right now. Even though your running game may get you a few yards, you've got to go to the air. You've got to rely on that offensive line now to give you the protection and Bubby Brister to make the big plays. They have to go to the passing game.
The Steelers have not gone past the 50-yard line since scoring on their first drive back in the first quarter. Warren Williams out to the 40-yard line. Let's go around the NFL right now and check in on those scores. Still tied in Philadelphia. And New England's opened it up on Miami. New England would go to 5-5 if they win that one today, and they're well in control. The Giants big over Dallas. Detroit hanging in there against the Vikings. And Atlanta on their way to a win today over Green Bay. And here in Cincinnati, it is 35-7 Bengals, 8:55 remaining in the third quarter. Jim Donovan and Joe Namath with you from Cincinnati as Merrill Hodge carries. And Hodge goes out over the 40-yard line, up close to a first down.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think the Steelers should get excited about making a first down. They run the ball twice. Sure, they've advanced to 12 yards. But, hey, they're down 35-7 at this point. They've got to get some points and get a lot of them. And the running game is not going to get you a lot of points. You're going to run out of time. It's using too much of the clock. They need to throw the ball.
Chuck Noll he wasn't too thrilled about getting a first down. He didn't look too happy on that sideline. They run again. Terry Long leading the way for Williams. He's to the 50. He falls down at the 40-yard line. He went down on his own. Joe Kelly will come over there. And Williams a bit bothered by slipping down at the 40-yard line.
Well, Cincinnati right now knows that Pittsburgh needs to get on the board and needs to get on the board often, so they're not going to give up any long gainers. The sweep looks terrific. They pick up another 12 yards or so. Good going. But still, I think they're whistling Dixie here. They need to pass the football to get a lot of points.
18-yard gain for Warren Williams. First down at the Cincinnati 38-yard line. Bubby Brister. And Merrill Hodge dives up the middle over the 35-yard line. Tim Crumry in on the tackle, 69, the all-pro nose tackle for the Bengals. It's been all run so far. When we came back and said it had to be all pass, they've done nothing but hand the ball off.
I know, and it makes their running game look good statistically. But again, the Bengals don't mind Pittsburgh taking 4 and 5 and 10-yard gainers at a pop. That clock is running, and Pittsburgh needs a lot of points.
Brister's only 3 of his last 10 when he's thrown the football, and that's been some time ago. Back to the run. And Merrill Hodge this time tests the right side down to the 32-yard line. Well, maybe they're saying, hey, this thing is over. We're not going to win this ball game today. Let's do something positive.
Yeah, maybe that's a possibility, but a very slim one. I don't know Chuck Noll has ever given up on a game, and I don't think his Steelers they have that kind of personality. They're going to stay in there and they're going to fight you to the end. And I just can't realistically see them getting enough points with this kind of attack.
Boy, this crowd's not letting up. 3rd down and 4. And that's 20. Ray Horton coming up to the line of scrimmage. Brister sees him and starts checking off. Big rush. Boy, that one's up there for the picking, and Eric Thomas almost took it away from Weegee Thompson. It's 4th down. Now you got to go for it.
Well, I think you have to go for it here. Even if you don't make it, you're giving Cincinnati one of the worst field positions of the afternoon.
That's right. They've been starting in Pittsburgh territory.
Sure. And see, the thing is, too, if you know you're going to go for it on 4th down earlier, on 3rd down, say we knew we were going to go for 4 plays, then possibly they should have stuck the ball in the line of scrimmage, gotten 1 or 2 yards, and have a 4th and 1 or 2 now rather than the 4th and 5.
Well, as you saw, they've had no success on 4th down, 0 for 5. And they're looking at 4th and 4. Ouija Thompson inside the 10. David Fulcher saves a touchdown. It's 1st and goal for Bubby Brister and the Steelers.
Well, I like to see Pittsburgh throw the ball in Thompson's direction. Once again, he's a big target, and he always gets that single coverage. Here, he's out in front of the defender already. Had the ball been out in front, could have been 6.
I mean, what does that mean to you? You're throwing to a guy that big.
Oh, I love it. I mean, it gives you much more room for error. You can get the ball up high, and you know your man has a chance of getting it. You can throw it a little bit behind him, a little bit farther in front of him, and with his reach, you've got a much bigger target.
On 4th and 4, they ended up with 26 yards on the catch by Thompson. It's now 1st and goal from the 7th. Warren Williams to the 5. Brumrise there. He's always there. Ray Horton comes up, too.
He's always there.
He's everywhere, right?
3 years in a row, coming into this year, Tim Brumrise, a nose tackle, has led the Bengals in tackle. No one's done that from that position around the league. He's the only nose tackle to accomplish this.
Sam White says it's also very dangerous in the tunnel before the game being around him because he's so excited to play. 2nd and goal. They'll try and go wide. Long with a good block for Williams. And Ray Horton came up and made the tackle. He got some help, too. And it's you-know-who, 69, Crumride. Boy, he's really pumped up when they're down, knocking on the door, trying to get in on it.
The other thing Joe Green, the defensive line coach of the Steelers, told me is Crumride is smart. Not only has he got the physical ability to make the plays, but he has to guess right, and he does it many times in which way the play is going. He's a smart nose tackle.
Push him back, push him back. That's what he said. Way back, right? 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. It is 3rd down and goal. That's Williams in motion. Oh, is this a busted play? You bet it is. Buck is on the tackle.
Well, actually, it's going to look like a busted play, but I believe that's the same play the Steelers scored their 1 touchdown on back earlier in the game, the quarterback draw. It didn't develop as well as the last time, but I kind of believe that Cincinnati was waiting for it. It is the identical play that they scored the touchdown on, but Jason Buck was right there to make the play.
So he busted it. Jason Buck on a Brigham Young. It's 4th down and goal from the 8. You had some movement there. Tunjokin moved 62, but the Bengals were off a little bit before that too.
False start. Number 62 on the offense. Still 4th down.
So Ilkin gets nailed with the penalty, and now it's 4th down and goal from over the 10 out by the 13.
Well, what makes them think they're going to get a touchdown here when they started out inside or down around the 6-yard line? They haven't tried a pass play yet. I would think they'd have to pass the football this time.
Right over the shoulder of Leo Barker on 4th and goal. A flag goes down. Almost picked off by Lewis Phillips. 24 Phillips on the coverage.
Holding, number 73. Penalty is declined. First down.
It's been a long afternoon for Brister and the Steeler offense. And for Chuck Knox, too, as Chuck Noll he looks over Bubby Brister comes over. The young quarterback explains it, and the numbers don't look good for the Steelers. Philadelphia leads 17-10 now in the third. Mike Tomczak's thrown a couple of touchdown passes, and the Bears rolling without Mike Ditka today. Vince Tobin running the team. Doug Flutie has never lost at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough. Boston College years, and now with New England as a Patriot.
Why didn't New England start him at the beginning of the year?
And that's as a starter, Joe. And of course, he's also rallied them a couple of times. He came in against the Colts and rallied them to a victory as a Patriot quarterback. Oh, this Esiason-Eddie Brown combination has been right on the money all day long. Out over the 20-yard line to the 23. They're just having fun.
Well, Cincinnati's attack is so good. When you can run the football anytime you want it, naturally it's going to help your pass game. The defense is in a quandary. On first down, they know they have to stop the run, so they can't get a good pass rush on the quarterback, and that's what gives Boomer Esiason so much time to pass early.
I mean, if you're in the huddle and you're another receiver and on a fun day like this when everything's going well, do you ever say, hey, how about my way?
Yes, I've seen receivers say that, of course.
2 minutes to go, third quarter, 35-7, Bengals. Maybe changing the play right here. Well, he's really making sure everybody has it. In motion, and Wilson carries over the 30-yard line out near the 33. That last Pittsburgh drive, 18 plays, 79 yards, no points.
Number 65, Max Montoya, and 87, Riggs. They get the job done. There's Montoya blocking on the linebacker Little. 7 yards downfield. I'd say that was a job well done by the offensive line.
Second down and 1 with 1:10 to go, third quarter. And there's the big right side of that line. You just don't hear enough about them. Esiason and Brown's been great, but they've had a lot of time to do their thing today, and so has James Brooks, thanks to that line. And some pretty good running, too. As he goes out of bounds, and he'll have the first down out near the 40-yard line as he spills into the Steeler bench.
Big Anthony Munoz is getting into the action, number 78. The top of your screen. First he takes on Woodson, then Munoz gets back up. Watch number 78 to get downfield to try and help out a little more, and couldn't find the guy. But that's good hustle by Munoz.
And 75, Bruce Reimer stayed with the play a long time, too. So both sides of that offensive line, left and right. You saw the right on the last play, and there are the fellas on the left. And the man in the middle is Bruce Kozerski, the center out of Holy Cross. 51 seconds left, third quarter. Brown in motion. Wow, look at these holes. Stanley Wilson with Joe Walter, 63, leading the way out over the 40-yard line to the 44.
You know, you mentioned Walter, who's having the best year of the offensive lineman for the Bengals, and also Bruce Kozerski, the center, number 64, is doing a good job. Here you see Montoya once again getting right in the middle of the defensive player and fighting him off. But Kozerski's a very intelligent center. As a matter of fact, at Holy Cross, as you mentioned, this man was a physics major, so I don't think he has much of a problem trying to figure out blocking schemes.
Coming up to the end of the third quarter, the score, the Cincinnati Bengals 35, the Steelers 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
The threesome we see in our picture is the lovely Carrie Roselle, Pete Roselle's wife, and of course that's Pete in the middle, and to his right, the great Paul Brown, the man that has been one of the biggest contributors to football as we know it today.
And a very big fan of Sam Weich. And Sam is thankful for that.
And here's a fellow that's Sam Weich's big fan, Boomer Esiason.
Second down and 5, fourth quarter starting. And they spread the ball out to someone else rather than Eddie Brown. It goes to the tight end, Jim Riggs. He makes the catch. Incidentally, Brown today has 175 yards receiving. That's the most by a receiver this year in the NFL. The record before that for this year was Stacey Bailey of the Atlanta Falcons. He had 169 yards in a game against Dallas. And we check the 10-minute ticker. Eagles by 10, Bears by 18. And New England winning in the third over the Dolphins. Giants cruising. Minnesota has upped their lead to 6. The Falcons winning. Cincinnati came into the day 7-2, a game ahead of both Houston and Cleveland in the Central Division, and on their way to 8-2. And Houston and Cleveland play tomorrow night.
Hey, it feels so lousy to be on a team right now that's getting whipped 35-7, and you get frustrated. I know on the Pittsburgh side of the ball, the defensive players, they're trying their best, they're doing everything, giving it a good effort, but this Cincinnati offense is just so efficient they can't stop them. Most of these games are won again at the line of scrimmage, and Cincinnati has dominated both offensively and defensively the line of scrimmage today.
Boy, has that unit, the Steeler defense, been on the field a lot today. James Brooks. He was hunting and hunting for a hole. There wasn't one there. Gowdy comes out of the pack with the football, but Brooks was down and loses a couple of yards back to the 45-yard line. Roland Poutier comes in and makes the tackle. First game playing for the Steelers. He was waived by Green Bay, signed with the Steelers, and joins them in the lineup today. He's out of Oregon.
Cincinnati's had more success when they hit those holes that burst up into the middle of the Pittsburgh defense. This defense that the Steelers have is very aggressive, and they pursue well. Once they can string it out, they'll get to the ball carrier. Cincinnati needs to stick it right at them to continue their success.
It's 3rd and 5. Wilson and Brooks in the backfield. Lloyd coming from the outside, can't get there. Rod Woodson with the interception after Eddie Brown had it hit him in the hands. And it went into the air, and on the tip drill, Woodson up with the interception, and Pittsburgh ball as Woodson runs it back into Bengal territory.
Hey, these professional receivers are good. There's Crumry on the sidelines with the headset on. Wonder what he's trying to find out.
All right, he probably had a little FM station on there, listened to a little music, then saw the interception. Now it's back to work. Ball inside the 50-yard line. Best field position starting a drive for the Steelers today, and Warren Williams runs hard inside the 40-yard line, the 39. Out there leading the way was Terry Long, 74, the right guard of the Steelers.
Well, the Steelers are a young team. They're trying to improve, and I guess the coaches feel that to become a better team, they need to work on these basics and the fundamentals. They have a better chance of running the football than they do passing against this Bengal defense. At least that's what I figure the coaches must be thinking.
8 yards for Williams on first down, second down 2. Lewis Lips trying to get it, but that ball died, didn't it, as soon as Brister threw it?
Certainly wasn't a good pass.
Remember, he had a dislocated finger on his throwing hand. He's wearing some tape on that. There you can see it. That's the hand he just held up to his face mask, and that ball didn't have enough on it at all, as Lips had to come back to try and get it and couldn't.
Yes, but talking with Coach Noel yesterday, he told me that the finger is better, that Brister's throwing about the way that he likes. I can't figure that it's 100% yet, but I don't think it's an excuse for that last pass.
Third down. And the ball is batted down by David Grant. 98. Grant got his hand up there and knocked it down. So it's 4th down, and they'll have to go again.
Yeah, well, this play calling has me surprised. You see Grant there in the center of your screen, number 98, knocking the pass down, but they had 3rd down and 2, and now it's 4th and 2. You think that as much as they like to run, they would have run for the first down in the last play.
1 for 6, 4th down and 2. Merrill Hodge in the backfield. Here's the rush from Scow, and the sack.
Brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on.
Boomer Esiason back in the Bengal huddle. Bengals back with the ball after that sack of Bubby Brister on 4th down. Brister's been sacked 2 times today, losing 30 yards. It's Red Cashin, the referee, talking with Esiason. It is 35-7 Cincinnati over Pittsburgh. 12:16 left in the game. Ball at the 49-yard line of Cincinnati. Back to work they go. Stalled on their last drive when Eddie Brown couldn't handle an Esiason pass and deflected it up in the air, and Rod Woodson picked it off. Roll out. Eddie Brown to the 10-yard line. But there's a flag down upfield.
Well, the way this game's going, I think Cincinnati's kind of pushing it a little
Holding, number 26 on the defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown!
You know, when you're beating the team up 35-7 and your defense is really controlling the game, Woodson certainly didn't like that call. Here Esiason goes left and throws back to his right. Has all the time in the world, and Eddie Brown's just running across the field. Now runs Woodruff once again. But I tell you, I'm surprised that Cincinnati's throwing the ball now. You'd think that they'd want to keep it on the ground, run the clock, and let their defense go ahead and win the rest of this game. But the way this high-powered offense works, obviously the passing game they never give up on.
It's 1st and goal inside the 10. And then goes down inside the 10-yard line. James Brooks down.
Let's take a look and see if Woodson was holding. He gets called for it. He was a little bit upset with it. I don't know if that can really be called holding. Looked like he had good position to me, but it really didn't make any difference. They completed the long pass on the play anyway.
Collinsworth was actually pushing on Woodson. Look at this game reception records. Eddie Brown with 216 yards, now tied with Collinsworth for the tops in one game. Brooks to the outside with a convoy in front of him.
I tell you, that play is more than any other play in this game is going to really get the Steelers coaching staff upset. It's one thing to be losing, but to go ahead and let a team run over you now, as Cincinnati's doing, has really got to be a letdown for the staff. The players, I don't want to say they're quitting out there, but it's tough for them to keep fighting with all the emotion they need whenever they're getting beaten as badly as they are.
Well, I'll tell you, that was shades of Eric Dickerson in last Monday night's romp for the Colts over the Broncos. Just untouched into the end zone. And the extra point good. It's 42-7 Cincinnati. Lots of smiles by the Bengals. Key outside.
Well, Pittsburgh's also living up to that reputation, or at least giving up a lot of points every game. They're out of sync. They're not a good team at this point. They have a young group of guys, and I know the folks in Western Pennsylvania are a little bit restless with these Steelers. They want Coach No to get things going, but hey, Coach No can't get out on the field and play for these guys. He can tell them what to do, and he picks the right things to do most of the time, but it's the players that have to get the job done.
Jim Boyle ended up with that kickoff. 77, Jim Boyle runs it out as we check in on the scoreboard. 21-10 now, New England leading over Miami in the 4th. Minnesota after Detroit had tightened that up, now has opened it up again inside the Metrodome, 30-17. And 42-7 Cincinnati on their way to an 8-2 record. And assuring themselves of holding on to first place, sole possession in the Central Division. Bubby Brister to Merrill Hodge, and he makes the catch into Cincinnati territory. Goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Turk Schonert warming up now on the sideline. Looks like he'll get some work. They'll get Esiason out of there.
Oh, sure. You can always, if you have a chance, get some work done for your backup quarterback. Who knows when you're going to need him. Meantime, Bubby Brister threw a nice pass this last time to Hodge. It's just that Pittsburgh just doesn't have a good enough team right now to keep up with these Bengals.
Esiason today has thrown for 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. The third time this year he's thrown for over 300 yards in a game. Brister with a wall of blocking to his left, floats one out there, and it's caught by Weegee Thompson. Inside the 30 at the 28-yard line, Eric Thomas makes the coverage and the tackle.
Well, I like this receiver. We said
well,
earlier
you really do,
game,
Joe.
Yeah, you know, I'd be wearing him out, knowing that you're going to get man-to-man coverage on him each time. He's such a big target, and to go along with it, he has great athletic ability. The guy can jump. He has excellent hands and pretty good speed.
Weegee Thompson. Look at him lumber out there, but once they snap that ball, those choppy strides turn into some flowing strides as he makes the catch on that last play. Merrill Hodge gets the handoff, but there are Bengals left and right of him. Grant is in on the tackle, and Jason Buck. Central Division, Week 12, Pittsburgh's at Cleveland. Week 14, Pittsburgh's at Houston. Pittsburgh's played all of their division rivals at home and lost to them all. Then the big one in the 15th week, Cincinnati at Houston. And late in December, Houston has to go to Cleveland. So the Steelers still can play spoiler, although they didn't get it done today against the division leaders. Incomplete, intending it for Lips. Almost picked off by David Fulcher.
Now that's one time Bubby Brister wished he'd have brought the ball down and tucked it under his arm and run with it. He had a wide open field ahead of him with being down 42-7. You know what? Look at this open field. Look, he can run the ball for another 15 yards. There's the closest man to him that got his hands on it, Fulcher.
But the closest man in white was Louis Lips. 3rd and 12. Still in it. Roaring here. Incomplete, but a flag is down. Thrown from behind the play at the 15-yard line. That's Eric Thomas getting up, and it is going against the Bengals.
Yeah, Bubby Brister tried to get that ball out there to Weegee Thompson again.
Holding number 22 on the defense. First down.
Larry Griffin was assigned to cover Weegee Thompson that time. Weegee got a step on him, and Griffin just tried to wrap him up. Smart play defensively.
Going back to the play before that, though, all right, and you said this at the top of the show. Are you surprised Brister hasn't taken off and run a little bit more today?
Well, I haven't seen that many opportunities for him. Even Bubby making some good runs earlier in the game, I don't think would have made a major difference in what this outcome's going to be.
He ran for their only score of the day. 9 yards for a touchdown back in the first quarter that tied the game at 7-7. Williams to the outside, but Leon White is right there to bring him down.
A waste of time. A waste of time. Any running play at this stage of the game is a waste of time.
So Leon White makes the tackle. This is that pass play when Brister rolls out. Now watch right here. He's just got acres and acres of field.
And if it was a tighter game, I bet Bubby would have pulled that ball down and run with it. But being a little one-sided right now, he's trying to make things happen, trying to force things a little bit.
Well, Boomer wins this one big today, as his team is winning big too. 8:22 left. Look out for Fulcher. They got away from him, and then throws complete to Louis Lips at the 13-yard line, and a first down.
You know, you mentioned Boomer winning this one today in the battle of the quarterbacks. When I talked with Mike Webster last night, I asked him what the difference was between Terry Bradshaw, the quarterback he had played for many years, and Bubby Brister. He said, hey, Joe, the big difference was the people that Bradshaw had to play alongside him. We had a lot of winners, people that made other players play above their normal level. And right now, the Steelers team is a young team, and they just haven't acquired as many good people as the Steelers of old.
Chuck Noll trying to get the people around Bubby Brister that could make them win. Look out, Skow's got him. But you know what, if we see this play again on replay, watch the fake that he gives to the running back is a nothing fake. I mean, it throws nobody. He just kind of went through the motion there, and that didn't fool anybody. Watch this. This is just kind of tapped the ball there. And
right, and up at the top of the screen, number 70, Skow, gets by Craig Wolfley to the inside, and Brister has no place at all to go. You know, Cincinnati right now couldn't care less if they hand the ball to them or fake it. They're going to play pass. They're going to play to not give up the big gainer right here. Let him take the short gainer.
3 sacks, and they've lost 40 yards when Brister's gone down. Second down, fires to Warren Williams. He's got it at the 18-yard line. Zander is on top of him. Carl Zander, the linebacker, 91. Philadelphia leads big now over the Rams after the Rams won that big one last week in New Orleans.
I know, and after Philadelphia took it on the chin from Atlanta. This is a crazy game, folks. I wouldn't want to have to pick a winner every week to try and make a living.
Vikings are going to win. Atlanta on their way to the victory. Cincinnati 42-7 over the Steelers. Third down at 14 from the 17-yard line. On the snap, a misfire. Flags go down. Joe Kelly ends up with the ball.
On the offense, still third down.
And 5 more yards coming up on the negative side for the Steelers.
I guess so many of the Steelers that time made the false start. The official couldn't figure out which one really did it first. I saw Craig Wolfley, the left tackle, pull back, and of course he was beaten the last time by Skow from the left side. Anytime an offensive lineman gets beaten by a pass rusher, you can bet they want to come out of their stance quickly to get in position.
Third down and 19, under 7 minutes to go. Going to throw it across the field, and everybody's there to knock it down. Dixon, Thomas, Fulcher. That ball down, and it will be 4th down. And you know, Joe, it used to be that the Bengals scoring 42 points, they would need that many points. Remember when they used to get involved in all of those shootouts? But their defense has played so well this year.
And the key for the defense is the speed that they have now. Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator, there in the bottom right of your screen, that's giving the signals now and yelling out the field, was a fine defensive back himself in the NFL for the Detroit Lions for a number of years. He tells me now that the Bengals have speed back there in the secondary, and that's the biggest difference.
4th down, 19. He's going for Lockett, and it comes up short again, and it's knocked down. Ricky Dixon bats it away from Lockett. Lockett was open if he could have gotten it over number 29, but not so. So the Steelers fail again. The Bengals get the ball back in a rout. Okay, jacket on, mittens on, and the day's work is done for Boomer Esiason, and that's what it totaled up.
What a great day for a quarterback. I mean, to stand over there on the sidelines now, knowing that the game is over, you've done your job, your team's going to win. It's a great feeling.
And when you know he's done and he's going to be on camera, if you're an offensive lineman, you get over there beside him and wave. And that's what Brian Blados did. Turk Schonert's the quarterback in there now. And he hands it off to Ickey Woods, and Lorenzo Freeman was right there to make the tackle on Ickey Woods. Schonert has not thrown a pass this year as a Bengal quarterback. He has played, but he hasn't thrown a pass.
Schonert's been around for a while. He started out here in Cincinnati in '81, and then he went for the '86 season to the Atlanta Falcons, but Cincinnati wanted him back. He's an excellent backup quarterback.
So if Schoner does throw, then Boomer would drop out of that category.
Yeah, that's the kind of a tricky statistic we see there. I know Bobby Hebert's throwing every pass for the Saints as far as quarterbacks go, but one of their receivers did try a running pass.
2nd down and 10. Stanford Jennings out over the 25-yard line, tackled by David Little. I think Little's played hard today.
Oh, you know, these Steelers play hard. That's one thing that Coach Noll really likes about them. The guys have never shown any quit. I mean, they keep fighting. They have a lot of enthusiasm. I don't think Joe Green, the defensive line coach, either would allow these guys to quit. They fight hard. They just don't have the cohesive talent out there yet. There's some young players playing with some veterans, and hey, they do miss Mike Merriweather too, which is another story in itself. There's Joe Green in the black outfit, rain suit.
And the Merriweather holdout continues with no sign of it ending. Schoner. Oh, there he throws a pass, and it's incomplete. Ira Hillary had it down on the turf at the 39-yard line, but couldn't hang on. So Schoner is 0 for 1 as he had it there to 89 Ira Hillary, who's had a good day running back punts. And Scott Fullage will have to come in and punt now for Cincinnati with 4:58 left.
That Merriweather situation has been a frustrating one for Mike, I know, as well as the Steelers. But you know, these pro teams, they never renegotiate downward when a ball player has an off season. When you make a commitment to a contract, when you're a man that gives your word, I'm a believer in upholding that contract. You might not like it, but you certainly should be there to fulfill your obligation.
Rod Woodson out over the 40 to the 43-yard line. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Bengals and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Cincinnati Bengals, all rights reserved. Mike Merriweather, and just finishing that thought up, Joe, held a surprise press conference over the telephone with the Pittsburgh writers this week and had some bizarre comments towards the Steeler management about their method of signing him or renegotiating with him and the way they're handling the team, comparing it to Joseph Stalin.
You know, again, I'm sure Mike Merriweather has a lot of good reason to want a new contract. But once again, when you sign a contract and you give your word that you're going to fulfill an obligation, you should go ahead and do it. I mean, you have to live with it sometimes. It might be 3 or 4 years and you learn a lesson, but you're a man of your word. You've got to abide by the contract.
Ball is out over the 40 to the 43-yard line, 2nd down 10. Brister still in there. Boy, did 70. Jim Scow get hit with a block. He got double teamed. Of course, he's been blowing in there as they tried to get it to Lewis Lips. But boy, did Jim Scow get hit. The Bengals defensive end trying to come in. There he is.
Well, you know, the Bengals right now are dropping a lot of people back into pass coverage. They're only rushing 3 and 4 men, and so that enables the Steelers blockers, the 5 of them at least, to have a double team on one of the ball players each time, and Scow ended up getting nailed that time.
He's real small, 6'3", 255, but he gets the job done and has again today. Bubby Brister looking at 3rd down and 10 with under 4 minutes to go. Look out from the outside, that's Barney Bussey. Well, they come at you from all areas, all sides. Fulcher up the middle, Fulcher from the side, Bussey coming up from a safety spot. Brister back over to the safety of the Steeler bench.
Well, Cincinnati fooled them that time. They brought the safety from the left side, and Pittsburgh certainly wasn't expecting a blitz that time. The play before, Cincinnati didn't blitz, and they just fooled Pittsburgh this last time.
4th sack of the game for the Steelers for 51 yards in losses. Harry Newsom, another low punt. Line drive, Hillary takes it on the fly. And And you see, by the time he catches it, and by the time the first Steeler coverage man gets down there, he's already gained about 6-7 yards.
Newsome is having a horrendous day for him. I mean, he knows at this stage of the game, Cincinnati's not going to try and block the punt. He has all day back there to get ready and hit the ball, but he hasn't hit a punt yet today, not the way he's been hitting them this season.
Finishing up on the scoreboard now, Philadelphia still leading over the Rams, even though the Rams have gotten back into it with a touchdown. Chicago winning. Atlanta shutting out Green Bay 20-0. And Dallas gets some late points on the Giants. Turk Schonert, second series for him with 3:31 left in the game. It is 42-7 Cincinnati. They led 21-7 at the half and came right back out in the second half and added to it. Mark Logan makes the catch.
Well, if you folks, especially in the Pittsburgh area, want to know why Cincinnati's throwing the ball right now, I have to believe it's just to get this man some work, Turk Schonert. He hasn't faced live defenses this year. When you play your backup quarterback, you'd like to get him ready in case of an emergency situation. And that's the only reason I can figure right now that Sam Weich has decided to try and pass the ball, just to get Schonert some extra work.
Mark Logan and Stanford Jennings make up the backfield. There's a flag down there. You see it behind Schonert as Logan again catches and runs into Pittsburgh territory. But we do have to check out the flag.
No, I'm laughing, Jim, because that's an orange airplane that was
I'm sorry. Oh, heavens. You aren't colorblind, are you? I mean, you might think that now, Joe. I don't know.
They've been using the yellow flags as of late with the officials, not the orange ones.
I'll tell you, I'll be at an eye doctor tomorrow after that. 17-yard gain for the 45. Shot of Paul Brown just before that, sitting with the commissioner. Pete Rozelle, Ira Hillary, 89 in motion. Mark Logan. Logan's caught a couple of passes and shows us his running stuff now inside the 40. 2:25 left.
Yeah, well, Cincinnati should run it down to the 2-minute warning without running another play. They've had things go their way today, and I kind of have to feel that Cincinnati created it that way. I mean, these guys have a fine team, and down the road, you know, they're just getting better and better.
Boomer Esiason sitting in and listening. 2 minutes to go in the game. 42-7 Bengals lead over the Steelers as Cincinnati 2 minutes away from going 8-2 on the year.
That's the look at this. Is that a flag?
Actually, that's our flight out of here, isn't it? I'm sorry. I thought it was, Joe. Hold that chart up a little bit higher now. I'll give you the directions of those E's upside down on the sight chart. I want to thank our spotters in the booth. Phil Schwarber, 21st year with NBC. Mike Leonard. And on stats today, Neil Bendeski. Thanks, guys. Job well done. Bengals have had a big day throwing. You saw Esiason over 300 yards. Rushing the football, 33 rushes for 205 yards. And Ickey Woods went for 110 yards rushing today. Rushing and passing, they've done it successfully. Stanford Jennings down to the 30-yard line. That was the first back this year to rush for 100 yards against the Steelers, as Ickey Woods went over 100 today. Jennings off the pack with 1:44 remaining. And a Bengal first down.
You know, earlier we mentioned Mike Ditka, and hoping that Mike is certainly feeling all right. I know a lot of folks back in western Pennsylvania, especially Aliquippa, where Mike is from, are saying some prayers for Mike, and we're all pulling together hoping that he gets a full recovery.
Good report card for the Bengals today. All passing grades. All right, Turk Schonert's going to run inside the 30-yard line. David Little on the tackle.
Schonert doesn't want to do that. I know he wants to get in the action, but David Little is too much of a man to go head-to-head with Schonert.
Steeler report card. 147 yards from Brister. rushing 101 yards. A lot of that came late. Lips, only 2 catches. Well, there was a little sunshine, no turnovers, and they've had a lot all year long.
So much for that turnover statistic, huh? You could still get buried and not turn the ball over.
Down to 33 seconds remaining in the game. And Stanford Jennings inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP, Eddie Brown from the Cincinnati Bengals. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game. Congratulations, Eddie. And the Cincinnati Bengals win in a breeze over the Steelers, 42-7 the final score. And Joe, they looked pretty awesome today.
They certainly did. Things didn't look good for the Steelers. They have a long way to go, but they faced one of the best teams in the National Football League in these Bengals, and they're going to be a tough team to reckon with down the stretch.
On another good battle between Tim Crumry and the veteran Mike Webster. Final score 42-7. We'll be back to Cincinnati in a minute.